are required, or rules are required, that he has to report to the Federal Executive Council under his watch. Then the National Assembly came up that they will now supervise the activities of the sole administrator. So I don't think any senior special assistant or advisor to the governor can overrule the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if he's thinking that he has to overrule the president, I think he should now think otherwise. And the Rivers people, including Nigerians, are more informed than the senior special assistant that has no powers. He has no mandate to overrule our president. And again, the issue of protest, I think that one has been settled. The best, without quoting the constitution or laws, I think the best thing I can say is that during the EndSARS, there was insinuations that students should not protest. And it has been settled that the colonial laws that was used during the time of Lord Lugard and all the rest of people, has been repealed by National Assembly, has also been set aside by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, that you don't need police permit for peaceful protest. So for anybody to ban protest, I think the person is still living in the past.
Well, he didn't outrightly ban protest. It only sent some sort of, some would describe as a warning if we look at the context in which it was said. He was speaking to The Punch, which is a popular newspaper, where the warning was issued to supporters of the suspended governor. And for many people, that was where the issue came in. But even more interesting is the question I'd like to ask is, with the peculiarity of the situation in this state, would some of these rules and restraints apply? I mean, it's a state of emergency, and we understand that when it's a state of emergency, certain things have to be foregone. Certain rights of freedom would be limited or even abruptly denied.
It's the state of emergency was to put some laws in abeyance for the sole administrator, to exercise it in respect to it. They said some bomb blast, happened somewhere in Gui, in Gokana local government, that threatened the national infrastructure. And that was why the state of emergency was imposed. Now, have there been further bomb blasts? The answer is no. So if the major work of the sole administrator, the major assignment, was to maintain law and order, what is his business with pulling down infrastructures, banning peaceful protests, and all that? I think I don't want to believe that the sole administrator, because he's better informed as a career military officer, he knows better than what the special assistant on media is saying. I think he should concentrate on maintaining that law and order until such a time the president deems it necessary to recall the suspended governor. Even if we thought that the president has no powers, to suspend the elected governor of the state. So I don't want to join issues with any special assistant, but my advice to Rivers people and to the administrator is that he should stay within his mandate, make sure there is peace, law and order in the rest part of the state, and allow democratic institutions and make peace, reconcile the various groups in Rivers State. You have seen what is happening in the country. Some parts of the country have been taken over by bandits. People are dying every day in Plateau and this thing. And the issue of emergency has never been imposed. So if we want to do comparative analysis of what is happening in Rivers, I think Rivers State is the most peaceful state as at now than any of the states in Nigeria. And the president made it categorically clear that he did that because of the key national assets of oil. And we have seen the collapse of national grid by bandits, people sabotaging key national assets all over the country, and nothing is happening. But since the sole administrator is still there, what we are saying we are appealing to the sole administrator to stay within his bounds. Otherwise, he has no immunity. otherwise, the day he leaves office, Rivers people will call for accountability and to probe all his activities while he administered our state as a soldier, including all those special assistants that are making noise all over the place and warning Rivers people that they are not entitled to peaceful protest. I think they have a right, to peaceful protest in Rivers State to air their grievances, on issues they feel concerned about.
Okay, well said. Which brings me to the next question. And that is about I'm sure you heard of the defection of the Delta State governor, commissioners, and some other top PDP stakeholders in the state who have all joined the APC now, including the former governor, Koa. What does that imply? And then in Rivers State, there are reports or rumors that, we might even see the governor of Rivers State suspended now, join that queue. At the moment, we don't know how true that is. But what do you make of this? And do you think that would be a move, the right move to be made or for the governor to take?
Well, if you see from the creation of Rivers State in 1967, Rivers State has been part of the establishment, has been ingrained in national politics. We've never played opposition politics, and that is why the Civil War, the Biafran War, failed, because we aligned ourselves with the federal troops. We never went the other way. So, if the governor, in his own wisdom, feels that he needs to align, with the government, the ruling party at the center, I think he has the right. He has not. There is no law saying that if he defects, he's going to lose his seat. So I would encourage him. I'm of the APC myself. I contested the 2021 governorship election in Rivers State, and we will be in the state to welcome him to our party, so that the rumors we are hearing, the gossips we are hearing, the mischief that is going on, will stop. But let me tell you, a ruling party cannot win because of a single person or some individuals. They will win based on their own track record. We have seen in states like Lagos, where you have APC government, APC House of Assembly members, and Labour won. So in Rivers State, it is the activities, the way the Rivers will perceive the president that will make him win. If the move in Delta or in other states.
So you don't think the defection of Okoa, the governor, commissioners, and so on and so forth can influence the decision of people to vote for? I mean, if that was the reason why they defected anyways, I'm saying, you don't think it can influence the votes?
What to also ask is that, what is the percentage, how many commissioners are in the state? How many government officials are in the state? Would they be able to influence more than 5 million registered voters in Delta? I think it is more of the activities, more of the performance of the government at the center or the president himself that will endure the Delta people, to vote for him. Even if the governor and the commissioner are in the opposition party against that of the president, and they feel that the president is doing well, those who cannot stop anything. It has happened elsewhere. It has happened elsewhere before. And Lagos is a classic example. Perception is very important, is very significant in national politics. So the percentage of how many people in the how many commissioners do you have? How many special advisors do you have? So I don't think that will influence anything, but it's an indication about trying to unite the people of the state, towards activities of the center. There is no law forbids it, and I will encourage our governor, to come to our party, which is APC, but to meet the demands, to discharge the mandate for which he has been elected, either as president or as governor.
All right. We'll take a very short commercial now. When we come back, there's still more to talk about, so please do stay on the line for us, Honorable. For those of us who are listening online, remember to respond what you think about protests continuing in Rivers State. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can also use the WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. On YouTube, Nigeria Info PH. On X, Nigeria Info PH. Stay with us.
You are
The conversation continues. We still have former member House of Reps with us via telephone this morning. Hello, sir. Honorable Mikko, good morning. I hope you're still on the line.
Yes, of course.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Before we get on with more of your responses, some more questions, let me just remind those who are listening that you can watch on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can also listen online simply by downloading the Nigeria Info FM app. Do that from the Google Play Store if you are an Android phone user. But if you're using an iOS phone as an iPhone, you can go to the iOS store, download the app Nigeria Info PH. Now, once you do that on the app, you can search for Nigeria Info PH, and that's it. You can listen to us from anywhere you are in the world. All you need is internet service, and that's it. Okay. That said, remember to also use the WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. Now, I'll come back to the question I was on before the break because I had a follow-up to it. You saying, well, the APC, you're open to welcoming the governor to join your party. But then the political dynamics of it is what a lot of people have been looking at, and how this could affect the play of politics in Rivers State, especially with the current situation where we're in, having lawmakers who had publicly said they were going to the APC, but eventually the court has said that's not enough to say that they defected. So they are now in the PDP, and then we understand what the situation in the PDP is at the moment, especially the divide in opinions and positions. And so, as it stands, if the governor joins the APC, your party, how do you think that affects the politics in Rivers State? Because where would that then leave the assembly, where the lawmakers would then be of the PDP, who automatically becomes an opposition if the governor becomes an APC member?
Well, the lifespan of Rivers people does not depend on politics. It depends on productivity, harmony, peace, and justice. Political parties will come and go, as we have seen before since the creation of Rivers State, from military administration of DSP to MPN to UPN to all these parties. So Rivers are not interested in party formation. They are interested in development and progress of our state. So if the governor thinks that joining a particular political party that will take us to where we need to get to, I think we will welcome him into the party.
You don't think that move would be simply because of a political game, because of the situation that we're in the state politically, and then the governor might have looked at it to think that, well, joining the APC would create some political stalemate with the situation, and everybody might be forced to just hands off and let things continue.
Well, you can say that even the lawmakers themselves, they tried to join the APC. We saw it openly when they joined, and the Supreme Court said, look, when they denied, the Supreme Court agreed with them that they didn't join. So they should remain in where they are in the PDP and let the governor move. Since they don't want to see governor, let the governor move to APC where he can have peace, of mind.
But that would mean he would still have to contend with them, assuming he moves, because at the moment there's nothing to confirm that will happen. But assuming he moves, he would still have to contend with the lawmakers who are now in the opposition PDP and would have to play opposition politics. And we know...
The lawmakers will now be on the opposition.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And if you compare it with what is happening in Delta State, all of them were on one page. Now they will remain in PDP and also contend with
the governor.
With APC, yes, with governor in the APC. It has happened in other states. I think it's not this thing. My advice to the lawmakers would be that since they said they didn't defect, and they are now in the opposition party to the governor, not the same party, I will advise them, to look at their core mandate as lawmakers, which is lawmaking, representation, and oversight, and concentrate on that, so that the concept of separation of powers, will yield benefits to the people of Rivers State. The mere plain politics of relevance, plain politics of prevent, where everything is to deny the Rivers people for their own selfish interests. I think the governor is on course in trying to bring peace and development to the state. We have seen over, this 2-year period he has been, the project he's doing. And I'll encourage the lawmakers, some of them are very respectable, those which I know, to support the governor in bringing these dividends to the people of Rivers State than fighting for things that are ephemeral in nature. So the issue of politics should take a second, to take backstage, and the more than 5, 6, 7 million people of Rivers State will be given the priority, for benefits of hindsight.
All right. Let's take a few calls. I'm sure quite a lot of people would have a lot to say with regards to the discourse at the moment. So I'll first take some messages on Facebook. Remember, the numbers you can call are 0817-923-0003. You can also call 0817-923-0007. I'll take those numbers again, 0817-923-0003, 0002, or 0817-923-0007. Should protests continue in River State? You've heard parts of the statement from the aide to the sole administrator. Patrick Amadi says sole administrator is right. Is right for not being happy, because how would there be protests in the state he's trying to restore peace in? Football supporters are making this worse for the Oga. Patrick Amadi, I think if I'm to the impression of that, I don't think that when there's a protest in a place, it means that there's war. No, I don't think that's what it means. We've seen protests in several other states across the country. It could be because of government policy. It could be because there's an act or something people don't like, and then the citizens want to express their displeasure. That's why they would then go on the protest. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's breakdown of law and order when there's a protest. No, that's not the implication. Just to correct that, in case you're thinking in that direction, that's not what it means. It has nothing to do with that. Clever Sonny says, so that Mr. doesn't have the right to stop Rivers people from protesting. As for Mr. President forcing people to join the party, I will not stop. To not stop me from voting him out come 2027. I don't know about forcing people. Who I don't think there's anywhere where it was said that the president forced. But like I said, politicians will have meetings. They would liaise, discuss, and if the interests align, they make their moves. Thank God Ability says Delta State Governor is loyalist defected from PDP to APC to save Ifeanyi Okowa. How? Patrick Amadi, this one says, so is right. Okay, we took that already. Clever Sonny, we took that one too, is ready. We'll take more messages on Facebook. Meanwhile, Robin is in a chair. Let's hear from Robin. Robin, good morning.
Evening, Andrew. Good morning to you.
All right, go on.
I'm greeting to the Honorable, the guest. You see, for some time, my spirit has been low, very low, as regards discussing politics, instead of discussing the welfare and the growth of people of River State and Nigeria at large. It's disheartening. That is why I have been shouting that River State does not belong to PDP, APC, Labour Party, or any party in that matter. That it belongs to all of us. These people have created that as a vehicle with which they live their life and that of their family. When you talk about dividend, what is dividend of democracy? There's nothing like dividend of democracy. The only dividend saturate within them. They share positions on how to occupy one position or the other. What has party got to do? Now look at what we are hearing. This is going to be key. If the former governor, EMUK, not in PDP, is working with APC. My pain and anger is that President Bola Tinubu suspended Nigerian constitution, committed infractions against the constitution of Nigeria, and it's a known fact. And we are now dancing. Tomorrow people will dance that the governor is trying in APC, like the guest is wooing him, that he's praying that he should come. That is to tell you, as mayor provided in the constitution is a vehicle to occupy position, not to better the interest of the welfare of the people of the government. That is the truth, whether you like it or not. That is my position. After all, Socrates said it before Christ was born, that democracy will fail when criminal-minded people occupy positions and they occupy and conquer a place. And that's what is going on.
All right, morning. Let's go to Rumudara. God's power. Good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yes, I remain at God's power. Andrew, first, I want to create or put the record straight that your guest in the studio is not a member of APC. He has been working with Sim Fubara and
God's power. Sorry, before you go on, what position are you holding in the APC?
By the grace of God, a foundation member of APC.
No. What office? Are you an executive of the APC? That's the question. Are you God's power? God's power. God's power. God's power. God's power. Hold on. Are you an executive of the APC? That's the question. Yes or no?
Andrew, I'm telling you that there is no stakeholders meeting.
God's power. The question I've asked you, you have not answered me. Are you an executive of the APC?
I'm not an executive member.
Exactly. Then you are not in a position to say who is and who is not a member yet.
No, Andrew. But that at least that record should be.
So take that back. You cannot say my guest is not a member of the APC when you are not in a position in the APC to declare or know that.
Andrew, it doesn't matter if you're an executive member of a party or not. You must know who is a member and who is not a member.
It is. God's power, it has become that way after we had a Supreme Court judgment that put lawmakers as members of the PDP, even if we saw anything on TV. So it simply means that there's a deeper process to how a person could be seen or not seen as a member of a party. That's what it means. So if you're not an executive and you don't have that information, I would not encourage you to get on the show and tell me that my guest is not a member of the APC. Did you remove him from his word or not? That's not what the conversation is, God's power. So if you have to respond to the question we asked for the conversation. That would make much sense.
Okay. Andrew, another thing that we should know as a people is that when things are changing, we should also change. It is clear that the suspended governor of Rivers State has taken a part of the one he took initially, and people deceived him. He realized that he was actually deceived. So I want to address in the studio, Andrew, to know that if the governor defects to APC today, and the assembly members say, okay, we are also going to defect to APC, nothing is wrong with that. He should not be, then they are trying to create biases and create enmity where there is none.
All right, Godspar, thank you. But you know, if the assembly members defect now to the APC, what happens to their seats? If they defect, it will mean that they would have to lose that seat if the constitution is anything to go by. So do you think that we might want to risk that a second time? I mean, the first time the court has said no, they didn't, because it was just, the court said they didn't. Regardless of all of the other comments that I made about the videos and these comments in the House, the letters, the court said they didn't. So if it happens now and they really do, and then in the eyes of the law, it becomes seen as they have defected, what would then happen to their seats? I think you should also consider that. Obed in Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
All right, you're welcome.
Andrew, the question you asked regarding if protest should be sustained,
am
I correct?
Yes.
Very, very important. Protest is one of the ingredients of democracy. And under democratic settings, the people have the right to express themselves if they feel so. And nobody, I repeat, nobody, not even any administrator can stop them. You understand? Even the governor that was democratically elected by the people cannot stop protest, let alone an administrator. You understand? No matter how many statements issued by any administrator, you can't stop people from talking. The president said the governor committed infraction on the constitution. Then the president is doing the same, and you expect people to keep quiet. How? Are we in a banana republic? So, Andrew, the protest will go on. You understand? Nobody is going to stop it. Thank you.
All right, JJ from Rumigbo, good morning.
Andrew, good morning. And let me greet your girls. You remember a song by Fela that Animal can't give us human rights? I don't know if you remember that song by Fela. So nobody can stop people from protesting what is unpleasant to them. After all, it's democracy. But on sweeping powers, nobody will give that sweeping power. It means the president can just come up one day, or you can walk up to the president and tell him to vacate his seat, since you have the sweeping powers that the president swore you into. I don't think anybody will want to train a dog that will kill him at the end of the day. That said, whether defection or no defection, which I don't even take serious right now, although my own state governor have done that, when Oshomole came in from the APC, after the Supreme Court became the winner of that election, he doesn't have one single assembly member in parties. Even Uzama came in, not even one. Mikko of Labour Party in Ondo State, not even one. they work together. I think there's a way they can come together according to our people. Then a cooperation make life forward. They can learn how to cooperate. They don't need to even love each other. Pretend to love each other for the love of River State and work together and work things out.
All right, JJ, thank you. Let's go to Ubimini. Eze Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Semi Andrew.
All right, good morning.
And greetings to your guest. I don't know if you can remember when the president declared this state of emergency, giving this emergency as an initial 6 months. So I want to enjoy everybody in River State agitating to protest, to have a breath. Let us see what will happen in this initial 6 months' time, for goodness sake. Protest in, protest out is hitting the polity. In the politics of River State, for goodness sake, let these people protest, whether for against or for the emergency. Let everybody keep calm and see what these 6 months will give us. Because if you ask me, they are still letting Nigerians and the politicians, especially the gladiators of River State and Abuja as per se, to still have their ground to extend probably this state of emergency. I take a bow.
Good news from our three. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. Man.
All right, good morning. Good news.
Let me start where others have stopped. That protest, it is not the right thing to stop it. No. You remember they are saying that they are trying to resolve the civil administrator. Nobody has tried this resolve. He has even done his worst. What is his worst? When the people supporting him first protested, women, they poured them tear gas now. Was it not in your news? They chased them away. Even older women in a order. They chased them and poured them tear gas. The next day, people supporting him on white, he did not do anything. They were there protesting for his stay. That is the reason why he didn't have the moral standing, the conscience to stop people who are going against him, because he has already agreed with people for him. So he come to say that that line is resolved. What resolve does he have? He's not be say fence fall, go climb on top of him, the shoot on top of him. You don't possible. And let it be known that Governor Fubara never went to beg president. Remember, he's a governor, and Tinubu is a president. I know what President Tinubu has done is that so that anybody who is a president tomorrow can just wake up from sleep after drinking a cup of tea, can say, Kwara State, declare state of emergency. Ondo, state of emergency. That is the meaning of what the president just did until it is corrected by Supreme Court. Having said that, for Fumara to see with President Tinubu, let it be known that President invited him. He was not the one that went to meet President. Some said allegedly met him. It was the President that called for him, and they went and discussed. So there was no need.
All right, good news. Thank you very much from our three. Thank you. Unfortunately, like I said, we still don't have any facts to back and show that there was an invitation or there was a meeting in London. We don't know any of those, at least not anything that we know in public. Quickly, before we wrap up, this message says, the truth is that more of the governor's supporters continue their unnecessary protests, the more things will get worse. I advise that they pause. God's time. Michael says, the protest about for the liberation of the state sold out by people. Look, the protest is not just about the governor, but liberation of Rivers State. Nobody can shut down the voice of the real Rivers people. Chinedu Ama says, texting from Pipeline Romokushi, the protest must go on until the president does the needful. I'll go back to my guest, Honorable Mikko. In under a minute, what would be your parting words after listening to some of the callers?
Well, my parting words to Rivers were two issues. One, the issue of protest. That protest is an inherent part of democracy. And the current president, President Bola Tinubu, is a champion of protest. Right from the the military regime under the Abacha's regime, he has led several protests, even up to the time of Goodluck Jonathan for good governance. So nobody can wish it away. Supreme Court has ruled on that. So anybody against protest is not a Democrat. So protests should continue. Peaceful protest should continue. Then the second issue of somebody trying to define whether I'm a member of the party, I think you should know that I was acquired in 2022 for governorship as a governorship aspirant under APC in Rivers State. So I will enjoy the Rivers people to ensure peace and cooperate with the de facto administrator of the state while he tries, to keep within the mandate given to him in the declaration by the president for him to maintain law and order alone. That was the mandate. Outside that, then he stands to be counted after his administration.
Okay, then. Thank you very much for your time, Honorable Bernard Mikko.
Thank you very much for having me.
Have a great day. My name is Ifeami Andrew. This is where we wrap this up. We'll take a commercial. Hello Potako comes up afterwards with Jude. And don't forget, if you haven't joined, you can play one play. Very simple, very interesting. All you need to do is just with 500 Naira, get on the app, One Play website, and then search for Nigeria Info PH. Okay? And with 500 Naira, you can play and win yourself anything from between 20,000 to, on the grand prize, 1 million Naira. If you find it too difficult to get onto the site, then you can also use the USSD code *347 *880 *6#. And Nigeria Info is giving. And if you want to participate from that giving, 500 Naira, again, *347 *880 *6#. Good morning.
Are you having problems